And I'm going to apologize for my voice.
Well, let me introduce you first. First of all, my name is Dr. Tamara Weinstein. For those of you that may not know me, I'm the Director of Sales and Continued Education for the Health and Nutrition Division of Market America. But I'm also an unfranchised owner. I've been with the company as an unfranchised owner, building my business for 16 years now. And I've had the honor and privilege to join working with the corporate team a bit behind the scenes to help all of you in the field as well, and work with other amazing unfranchised owners like Alexandra Cummings here, who I'd like to introduce to you. She's a supervising coordinator with the company, a former nail salon owner, originally from Poland, came here, and I'll let you share more of your story, Alex, but you didn't really know many people when you got here to the United States, right? And you started up north, and now you're down in Sarasota, Florida. So I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. Before we get into our topic of the evening, I do want to just quickly mention our weekly Stay Focused, Stay the Course challenge and the leaderboard. You know, we've been all working hard from week to week to stay focused and stay the course, building our business, doing those result producing activities, and submitting those forms weekly, right? Those accountability forms, which have been great, helping to keep everybody on track. I know I'm in a weekly group. Are you in a weekly group, Alex?
I am. And I'm in on this board as well.
Excellent. I know, I saw your name. I've been on a couple times. I'm not on this week, but I have hit the board. So we have really leaders from all over the world that have been joining us. So you could see here, obviously, I'm not going to read off all the names, but I just, you know, I want to highlight the work and the effort that these amazing unfranchised owners have been doing as they've been going week by week, whether it's personally sponsoring, generating new business volume in their organization, exposing the business plan, right? Which we know is super important to do on a consistent and regular basis. Of course, their own personal orders and registering new preferred customers. Here's some of the leaders up in Canada on this week's leaderboard. So I'll leave them up for a moment. You can see if you recognize some names. We have the leaders here in Hong Kong, again, personally sponsored, new BV, showing the plan, our personal orders, and registering new customers. Here's some leaders in Malaysia. You know, the list keeps growing, I think, and it's so nice. Sometimes you see those names reappearing. Sometimes they've changed columns, but there's a lot of people doing a lot of really nice, consistent work. Here's some of the leaders in Singapore. And you guys know that these leaderboards are available for you, I hope, right? You know where to go on through your unfranchised back office and see them. Taiwan is doing a really nice job. Look at that, 3 pages worth of new personally sponsored qualified UFOs. And here we have the United Kingdom. And you have some partners in the UK, don't you, Alex? I know you've been working over there too. So that's fantastic. And last but definitely not least is us here in the United States. And I see quite a few names that I recognize here in the US for new personally sponsored qualified. I know Emily Panito's been pretty consistent up on that board. I see Benson Chen, Dr. Duchess, Dr. Cheryl Duchess. You're up there, Alex, I see, right?
Yeah, I am.
All the way across, you know, it's so nice to see this growth. And I have to say, I think a lot of the growth has been through being back in person, right? Being back together where we're able to meet more people and smile and make friends, right? And part of the beauty of being back in person and meeting new people is the ability to grow our business, to expand distribution, right? And so we're going to be talking a little bit about prospecting, qualifying, and sponsoring. So I'm going to ask you, Alex, what do those 3 words represent for you? When you look at those words, what does that mean for you? What do they represent?
See, prospecting, qualifying, and sponsoring. In order to grow your business, you need to find the right people. And I'm going to tell you, for those who knows me, I used to own my salon in New Hampshire. So think about this. I had my salon. I didn't go outside on the street and I didn't grab first person and I say, hey, you hire. No, I didn't. Because guess what I have to do? I have to find the right person,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which means I have to qualify if she really she fit for my business. And then if she did, then I hire her. Isn't it true? We have the same
So
thing.
true.
Because you don't want to work with any person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It really is. And, and it could be you just related it to business. For me, prospecting sometimes is just even making some new friends, right? I moved down to the Carolinas. I'm meeting new people. In that process, I'm prospecting them to be a friend first sometimes. Maybe then I'm qualifying them. Are they going to stay a friend? Or maybe I'm going to, qualify them for the business. And then sponsoring, growing and expanding my business, right? Growing and expanding distribution. And that's kind of the way I think of it too. So I think, very similar there. But the ultimate goal here is really to create that supplemental income, right? And it's duplicating our efforts. It's leveraging our time. We want to grow and expand. And yes, we personally sponsor 2 people, but as the organization starts to grow, that's really where we see the leverage, right?
So
It's
true.
yeah,
It's faster as well. It's faster, and you have amazing team do it with you.
absolutely. So it may just be meeting somebody on the street, as you had mentioned, right? It may be scrolling through a phone book, but it all begins with setting your goals, creating a timeline, and then building that names list, right? So who do you know? Who do you know who is a question that I often ask people. Who do you know who likes to wear makeup, likes to share things with other people, likes to make recommendations? Who do you know who might be into health and fitness, right? Who do you know who might be into technology or finances, right? And that's kind of where I always start. Who do you know who? And, I always like to explain, especially when I'm working with new business partners, try not to prejudge people. I was just having a conversation. My daughter is actually a new business partner, and I was speaking with her new personally sponsored first business partner, and they were naming off names. And I said, don't judge, just share, just build the relationship and just share.
See,
Right.
it is. And you know what? It's not our job to prejudge. We don't know who knows who lead us to who. And honestly, even myself, on the beginning, I was prejudging people.
Yeah, it's easy. It is easy to do. So I always recommend just starting with that names list, right? Just put them down. Put them down. When people tell me, well, I don't know anybody. I'm like, really? Let me see your phone. Let's look at your address book.
Okay, so if
you know somebody, right?
So if I can, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. We drove yesterday for the UBP, and I was driving. I hope she's with us, and we're driving, right? And I said, "Take your phone," and we're going through her phone, and every name we're going through. And I said, "Did you put her on your list?" She said, "Nope, nope, nope." I'm like, "Why?" So tell me a little bit more about this person. And guess what? We scheduled a few appointments.
Perfect. And, people will ask me about, friends and family, and, not that there's anything wrong with that if your friends and family are open to listening. But I find for myself personally, my family didn't want to listen at the beginning. They weren't even wanting to, take the products initially, because they were family. I'm like, do you know what I do for a living? Even to my own mother, I'm like, do you know what I went to school for?
But think about it. When I open my salon, guess what I have to do? I have to go and find those people. I
Right.
have to do the names. I have to go and sell myself, tell them about it, what I do.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes with friends and family, the other piece of that, I know for me, especially back when I was new at talking about the business and I wasn't as confident. I didn't have that attitude, right, that we work toward. I felt sort of like not confident enough because you know, it was to a friend and I didn't want them to look at me differently. I didn't want it to affect our friendship. But what's really interesting is once you start getting going and you really believe that, you know, what we have in our hands is just such an amazing vehicle where we're able to help so many people. It's almost like you're doing them a disservice if you don't share it, right? Are they really your friend if you're not willing to tell them about this amazing business? So maybe not always for the first top 10 maybe, but maybe it is. So I just don't like people to get discouraged there from the very beginning. But we do always work together and support each other, and you should be working with your senior business partner or cross teaming with somebody who has a little more experience, whether it's friend, family, or even somebody you knew, right?
So
Wouldn't you
true.
agree?
So true. And you have to, you have to, and like with the senior business partner, you have to talk about every person. It's not like we're going to call them, but we're going to help you with kind of approach. You said, that was difficult for you. For me as well. Think about my English. I didn't have Polish people. And now I remember when Bonnie said to me to create 60 names. I didn't even have a 60. And then I'm like, okay, but let's work. And I have some people, they were laughing at me. But you see, I have my bullet vest. I had my goals too, right? So yeah, but it's nice,
Yeah, and you had Bonnie to work with, and you were able to build that confidence. So, you know, again, it's what your comfort level is where you want to start, but put them on the names list, right? And maybe they're not the first top 10, but maybe you're going to circle back around once you are a little bit more comfortable in, you know, sharing information with people. You know, I know you're a big person with social media, right, Alex, in terms of building your names list through social media and reconnecting with, you know, people that you hadn't spoken with in the past for a while, or really connecting with brand new people that you don't even know. Would you just share a moment about your names list that you grow through social
It
media?
is. And plus, remember, you just never know who knows who, right? Like I'm joining sometimes some groups. And you have to sometimes think, what is your passion right now as well, right? Um, I love cruises. I love some, I can even sometimes reconnect with my friends from Poland. And it start always with word hi. How are you? Every single day we have notification from Facebook that it's someone's birthday. Why don't we send them birthday? Hey, how you been? It's been a while. Hey, I saw, so it's all about, you see, it's not about that you connect with someone and you're already bombarding with, hey, I have a business for you. But the goal is to get connected with someone, to sit down with a nice cup of coffee and talk. How can we help each other? What do you do? Find out. And one point, someone's going to ask you, what do you do for a living? So it's not difficult, but remember, first we prospecting, you want to find out more about them. And then if someone asks you, because remember, we are looking for who? The right people.
That's right.
Even if it's not them, maybe they might know someone. Maybe you can help me out.
Perfect. And we're going to talk about some of those ways that we do approach in a minute. So, you know, just in terms of qualifying, you know, think about what kind of qualities would you like a new business partner of yours to have? Like maybe they have some experience in sales, right? Or some service experience. I didn't have any of that. I'm a healthcare provider, right? I'm an educator. I had no experience in sales. For me, I never looked at it as sales. I looked at it as sharing, you know, information with people, educating people, helping people is really the way that I looked at it. It was never about selling my patient a bottle of OPC3. It was about offering them a solution that can help them. So people like teachers, trainers, coaches who like to share information to educate are great. Obviously, entrepreneurs, people that have some business experience, right? People that have that confidence, that you know they can go up and just talk to people. Sometimes those people are great because they're friend making machines, right? They have that attitude, or people of influence. They're often friend making machines. Sometimes we look at people that have, you know, that are financially doing very well, and we might think, well, you know, they don't need anything, so I might not
We do.
bother.
But
But
what we do right now, we're prejudging.
that is not only prejudging, but I happen to know quite a lot of people that earn a very nice income. But you know what, Alex? they have no time to enjoy that income. And I actually just met somebody recently who was doing very well. And he had said in our conversation, as we were asking, some questions back and forth, he loved his job. He was doing well financially, but at home, he has a wife and 4 children who he never gets to see. And he said to me, Tamara, I'm just looking to get some time back. And that opened the door to the conversation. So had I prejudged because he did well for himself, I would have lost that opportunity without asking those further questions that pulled out the information that he was looking at, for more time to spend
But
with
you know
his.
what? The kids as well, we have nothing to lose. Just ask.
Yes.
The worst case, someone's gonna say no. It's okay, but no, it's for now.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So again, looking for some of these qualities often could be very beneficial. And how do we do that? We ask questions, right? We ask questions. We're going to talk more about that. So, top 10 list, right? We talked about that before. You're going to make your list of 50, 60, 100, however many you can get on that list, but then you're going to kind of prioritize it, right? You're going to say, okay, well, these are the top 10 people that I'm going to approach to start that conversation, right? And, I think sometimes just identifying that top 10, sitting down with your senior business partner, maybe filling out a bio sheet. Do you use those bio sheets, Alex, with your team?
I do. Plus, yes, I do. And I always have notes, when I approach, who is this person, right? I do this all the time. But if I can edit something, I'm going to tell you
Yes.
when I started, because I was afraid. I was afraid of English. I didn't know a lot of people. I didn't want to burn myself, especially open my salon. So I put it my list.
Mm-hmm.
When someone is stronger than you,
Yeah.
and I learned this word, which before I have a trouble with this, it was procrastinated. So let's say I procrastinated because I was afraid. Instead of ask Bonnie, hey, let's do this call, let's ask, I was put it later, later, later. And then a year later, when I went on the UPP, guess what?
What?
This person was with someone else.
Yeah, I've heard that story before. It happened to somebody of in my organization, a business partner of mine, same exact story. And we went to a UVP and she looked over and she went, oh my goodness, why did I not?
But you know what? Think about it. People, they don't walk on the street with the piece of paper and saying, hey, I'm looking for some extra income.
Correct. And that's why it's so important just to continue to build that relationship, right? To continue to build the relationship and ask questions, right? Ask those questions that are going to hopefully help open up the door to further conversation, right? And so prioritizing that, people that and trust might be at that top 10 of the list, right? People that want to succeed or that are looking for something, people that you can invite to different social events. We have the opportunity to have Wellness 101 events and beauty and layered jewelry events at home. Sometimes having some of those kinds of social events are really nice places to invite your top 10 to and start to, just introduce them to what we have and continue to build that relationship, right? So, they encourage you, they're interested in what you have to say. And those people, like those people that look to you, and you have those people that you look to, right? I really value your opinion, right? And I'm sure there's people that come to you, Alex, and say, I really value your opinion. So that's often a nice place to start with that top 10 and of course sharing things that,
And
are
you know what? Sometimes even, when you were talking together about names list and someone say, hey, Dr. Tamara, she's amazing in sale, in product. She's a magnet to people, right? And I'm like, have you ever told her this? No. Why don't you say this? So you see, use this during the conversation. It's a compliment, right? So it's a
Yeah.
nice, so always think, what do you know about this person? And talk to your business partner, about them.
Right. And always, sharing why you value them and value that relationship. I agree 100%. Always adds a nice component to building that business, that relationship with people. So, some people use this memory jogger exercise, right? This is like an exercise that you can do. Like I said, scrolling through your address book in your phone is one. Going through your any name from like A to Z, like who do you know whose name starts with the letter A? Do you know an Andrew? Do you know an Abby? Right? And just putting those people down in the list. Or who do you know that lives in New York? Who do you know who lives in California, or wherever it is that you might be interested in expanding your organization, right? Who do you know? Job descriptions, like we spoke about before, or interests that they might have, whether it's cosmetics or skincare or health and nutrition or jewelry. I love outlier jewelry,
Mhm.
right? Things like that. And of course, people from your past. And I know you and I talked about this, Alex, because you came here to this country and you didn't really know anyone. And I had mentioned I was, reconnecting with people that I had grown up with, that I had lost touch with. For you, it was going back and rebuilding those relationships from people outside the country. But look at what you're doing now, because you're building internationally because of that, right?
It's amazing with social media, going from people to people. But you know what? On the beginning, and especially for the new and franchise owner, yes, you are afraid, like I did. But the more you talk and train like an actor, right? You build your bullet vest. And
Yeah.
suddenly you're gonna be like, oh wow, I should do this better. Oh wow, I could ask her this. But more you talk, so don't discourage, because you will find someone like I'm like, hey, I'm expanding my business. You might know someone. And you know what is the key? Sometimes people say, okay, so I'm expanding my business. Do you know some people? But you know
Mm,
what's different? How people gonna refer to you someone if they don't have a clue what you do?
correct. Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's nice to ask for help for 10 minutes. Say, hey, can you jump with me? Let me show you what I have, and maybe you might know someone. I will really appreciate your help.
Perfect. I love it. That's, one of my favorite go-tos as well, because, I am the person that always likes to help other people. And I know so many people are like that, where, if you ask somebody for help, more often than not, if they can, they will, right? And you take that pressure off, so to speak. So as we always say, it may or may not be a fit for you, but you may know somebody, and that would be helpful for me, right? And then just keep adding names, right? Those possibilities are everywhere. I have 4 kids and they played sports, and I'd be sitting on the soccer field at my daughter's game, or, I was working in a school, and one of the teachers came in and started chatting with me, asking me for some suggestions, and what would you recommend for? And, they're everywhere, right? Everywhere you
Listen,
go.
I just came back from Buffalo, right? So I was, yes, we have to open. And by the way, I apologize for my voice. I was talking so much. And today, this is it, what happened. But no excuses. So I hope it's not annoying. But look, I just came back from Buffalo. And with Garis, we are front, that's the hotel. And the guy was on the phone a little bit longer. And when he hung up, he said, I am so sorry, but it was someone important on the phone. But you see what I did? I wasn't mad. I
Mhm.
made a joke and I said, what about me? I'm not important. So we were laughing to the point that I get even, voucher for a drink. And to the point that I said, so what's your name? And I shake his hand and I said, I'm Alexandra. What's
Mhm.
your name? And I said, I'll be happy to send you some because your service is really amazing. Like, because we start talking. So you see, it wasn't hard
Right.
because really, because the way how he talked, he was friendly. And I said, hey, he might be. See, it's not for me to saying about business right now, but I said, what's your phone number? Can I text you later?
Right, right. Yeah, it's very similar for me. I just met somebody as well, and we just started talking, and he was telling me a little bit about his family. And I wasn't expecting, like, I wasn't going out saying, okay, I'm going to build my business. I'm going to meet somebody, right? It was just natural. We started talking, and he was telling me about his son who, is into bodybuilding, and I was sharing my boys are into bodybuilding. Next thing you know, the conversation is flowing. And we were talking about, eating, and he said, I want to know more. And I said, well, give me your email. So I write the email down and I put his card in my pocket. He goes, you got the 77 on my email, right? You got the 77. Don't forget. And I'm like, I won't forget. I'm going to email you and send you some information. Like he
Cool.
was, and I didn't go out to look for anybody. It was just a conversation that started up, and he's very excited to get connected and chat a little bit more and learn a little bit more about each other. So wherever you are, just keep adding 2 names per day onto that list, whether it's going to, networking meetings, or like Alex does on social media through Facebook and Instagram and things like that.
You know what? Can we stop here?
Of
Where we can
course.
find new prospect? Because look, sometimes when people say, Alex, it was easy for you because you had a salon. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was even much harder because I have to go and find people for my nails. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, and I don't want to screw up because I can burn myself. I am not going to approach every my client. But you see, when I closed my salon 8 years ago and I moved to Florida, besides my in-laws and my husband, I didn't know anyone. So now what do I have to do? To find people, because my life changed. I went to Meetup. And you see, and even if you are watching right now, if you are with us, why don't you take a piece of paper and a pen? And what's your passion? What do you do in your free time? Do you like to read books? Do you like to walk? Do you like yoga? I like, because I speak French, so I'm even joining French group. I have my dogs. Guess what? I join on Meetup dogs group. And you see, because I love those, I love movies, I love cinema. So I joined those group because it's fun, but on the same time, you're meeting new people. So you see, when you go for those meetings, it's not about to like straight away with business. You want to build a relationship, and people are going to be inviting you more to more and more. So it's social media perfect, but you know what? You need to go and find those people too, just for fun too.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. And joining the groups on social media, as well as joining those groups in person, right? You can do it both ways. But I love that point, is just join groups for things of interest, right? So that you have something to start that conversation and build it. And of course, you always want to be asking those questions, right? You want to be asking those questions that are going to potentially offer you an answer to ask another question, right? You want to find out what people are looking for, because I one of the things that I love about our business more than anything is that I almost always, if somebody has uh, an issue that they're looking for a solution for, I almost always have something to offer, right? As that relationship builds, and I can say to them, I don't know if you're interested or not, but I'd love to share some information with you if you are. And I asked permission if I could share it, right? So asking, things like this, right? What do you do for a living? How long have you worked here? Do you like your job? And that was that conversation I had with that gentleman who I said was doing very well financially, but I found his pain by asking some of these questions because he really was looking for more time, right? To spend with his
But you
family.
see, remember I told you about the situation last week. I
Mhm.
stopped in a gas station next to my house, and there was a new guy. And he even asked me for ID. And I'm like, I was laughing. And I said, oh, wow, I have to show the ID. He's like, it's a compliment. You look 21. And I said, times 2, by the way. But just starting conversation. I was nice. I was, I gigged. I smiled. But you know what? I heard some accent. And I
Mm.
said, you see, ask a question. I'm like, are you British? It's like, yes, I am. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Where in England? Because I'm expanding my business. Maybe you can help me out. Guess what? I'm like, can you give me your phone number? By the way, I'm Alex, from ID. And guess what? We have a meeting this week
Yeah.
because he's going to help. Because he's like, so tell me more. I'm like, you have to see. I'm not going to explain you now, but let's get together. So maybe you can help me out, or maybe even you can make some money.
Mhm. And that gentleman with the 4 children looking for more time after asking a number of different questions and getting to know each other a little bit. I actually went to that one on the bottom, which isn't always my go-to, but I actually asked him if he kept his options open, because he liked his job, he liked what he did, right? And he was doing well at it, but he wanted more time freedom. And so I did. I said, do you keep your options open? And he kind of looked at me and then he said, well, I guess I should, right? So we're gonna have a follow-up to discuss some more information and share more information together. So, asking those questions are going to lead to more questions that hopefully will get you to a point where you could either ask for help like Alex did, or ask, do you keep your options open? Would you be interested in learning more?
And you know what, especially when you are new in this business, you don't have, like, I remember myself, the first year in the business, I saw people on the stage. I specialize with this, I specialize with this. And I look at myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't specialize with anything because I was new, right? So,
Mhm.
but you know what I learned? It's not about me. I'm listening, I'm asking questions. So the answer, I'm collecting information. And I'm like, you know what? I work with Dr. Tamara. I will hook you up with her. Hey, I'm working with makeup artists. Even if you're not, guess what? Your business partner will connect you with them. So the key is you don't want to work by yourself. Just use other people. It's your leverage. So don't try to be superwoman that you know everything because it's not going to work.
Right, right. You always have a guy, you always have a girl, right? That you could connect
Yes.
them to. And I love this slide because I know you and I have both spoken about this, Alex, but our amazing Dennis Franks has a video out. It's on YouTube, it's in the audios as well, where him and Jim Winkler have both gone through what we call talking in themes. And that's kind of just exactly what you were saying, Alex. Like we need to learn how to talk in themes, right? We should be able to know enough, not everything, but enough about each division of what our company has to offer. And I always say know enough to be dangerous, right? I don't specialize in Motives Cosmetics, but every bit of makeup on my face is Motives Cosmetics. All my skincare is our branded skincare products. I know enough to be dangerous, right? I know what, talc-free, paraben-free, hypoallergenic. I know enough to be dangerous. I can talk in themes about our debt shredder. I can talk in themes about our websites, right? And how we have these a la carte services. And it's exactly what you just said, right? Just try
And
not to.
this is
Not-
my favorite, by the way, video. And everyone should go even on YouTube and watch this video. Because you're gonna think about it. I compare our company to the really university. It's like a school that you have a subject,
Mhm.
you learn a little bit, and then on the end, even you pick your division, what you're good in. That was me. I know what I have when sometimes I'm making joke because I have my confidence, right? Even if you're scared, get your posture, right? Your shoulder,
Right.
even smile, especially if you're stressed, yes. But you know what, when people ask me, can you recommend me isotonics? I'm like, which one? What's happening with you?
Mhm.
Alex, what do you sell? I sell everything. What do you need?
Right.
It's a simple thing, but you see, more you talk, you're gonna have your answer for every person you talk to.
That's right. And although I think most of us specialize like, in a certain university, if you pay attention to know enough about what's going on across the board with this kind of a concept, you can change the hat depending on who you're talking to easily. And when I get asked, what is it that you do? Because I've asked those questions first, my answer might change slightly from person to person so that I can gear it more toward what it is that they're looking for, what they're interested in, because I do have that opportunity to work in all of these different areas.
This
Right?
is
Whether
great,
it's
especially if you're going for networking event, the speed networking event. And it's all about business. Guess what? I don't want to start first. I always ask them, so tell me about you. What do you do? What kind of business do you have? Because when they start talking, now I know
right.
which product and division I can match to them.
Absolutely. I love it. And we did talk a little bit about social media and expanding possibility, but Alex, you did share something very interesting with me, and you taught me some new things with social media and how to, use it and ask some questions and add those names on and through those searches. Would you mind just sharing that with everybody? Because
Sure.
I think that's a fantastic tool to use to grow through social media.
And I definitely, especially, you know what, people think sometimes that social media, it's so tough. I don't want to try. But you see, you have nothing to lose. Just play around. So after a while, your market, guess what? You're going to be like, all right, I'll go through the whole list. And that's nothing happened. But you see, if you go on Instagram, you're going to have a magic, I call this magic search button. And now what are you looking for? Because I always said the distance in our business, it really doesn't matter. Why do I have clients in England? I have clients in Korea, right? I have clients in Chicago, New York, and I'm in Florida. You know why? Because of the social media. So think about it. So you go on Instagram and in the search button, you add hashtag. And now who are you looking for? Where do you want to be? Do you want to find makeup artists in London? Just type MUA London or makeup artist London or makeup artist New York. Or how about doctor in California, personal trainer in Pennsylvania, and
Yeah,
suddenly, right? Like,
yeah, I didn't know that you can do that with, so again, you're going to go into your Insta page, right? And you're going to go into the search and you're going to use the hashtag.
yes.
And then you're going to
One
put
of-
after that hashtag what it is you're looking for, fitness, makeup, and you could put the location of where you're looking to grow and
It's-
expand. It's
and-
brilliant. I love it. So
And you know, you're going to have a lot of posts. Just click the post and you're going to be able to see the bio of this person, what they do. They have a link, they have a website. So just, I'm telling you, it's amazing.
yeah, and then you're gonna maybe message them and compliment them for things that they're posting and start to build that relationship and share some sort of an interest. So I absolutely love that.
Mhm.
So of course we always come back to this, right? Who do you know who, right? That's it. So you can say something like, I'm a teacher, but what I'm really excited about is the business I started on a part-time basis. And I do that too. I said, I'm a physical therapist, but I have to tell you, I've been spending the majority of my time because I'm so excited helping people find what it is, what they want and what they need, right? I'm matching solutions to meet their needs. And I love helping people, and that's what I do.
And my answer 13 years ago was different than now. Because
Right.
before, I'm a nail technician, I am a salon owner, but I'm focusing on my online business.
Perfect.
Right? That was 13, now it's different.
And I think people are very comfortable saying what it is that they do for a profession, but they have to find that comfort level of sharing what they do with Market America, right? Without sounding strange. So this is a nice way to do that. So you can say what you do professionally, but that you're really excited about what you're doing on a part-time basis. Many people are afraid of getting asked, what is it? And so I always recommend practicing, right? Look in the mirror and just practice and pretend somebody asked you, well, what is it? Because people are afraid to bring up the business because they're afraid to get asked. And you could say something as simple as, we're a product brokerage and internet marketing company called marketamericashop.com. Have you ever heard of us? Right. And I do say that, actually. I say that quite often. Sometimes I talk, depending on what answers I get to the questions I ask first, I might say, and I personally specialize in health and nutrition, or I might say, we have an amazing, amazing line of cosmetics and skincare, right? It just depends on what I asked prior. But the key is the answer should be short, and it should want them to ask you a question back, right? You're short, and let them ask you more questions.
And this is so true, because you know what? Think about it. I'm going to give you an example. When I used to own my salon, and I made those mistakes as well. On the beginning, I learned. But think about it. You want to say something short. So people are going to be intrigued. They're going to ask you, what? Tell me more. But you see, sometimes, how does it sound? Think about, I own still my salon. And when you ask me, Alex, what do you do? Oh, you know what? I own my salon in New Hampshire, in Nashua, and I take sometimes file. Then, I buff nails, I clean a nail bed, then I apply base coat, and then I apply color. Now top coat. Now I have to wait when it's dry, and after. You see how does it
And they're
sound?
looking at their watch going, I gotta go.
True. And it's the same thing with our business. You see, my answer, Dr. Tamara, when I started, I couldn't say what you just said because it wasn't my language.
Mhm.
It couldn't be them. But you see, I found my answer. If someone asked me, Alex, what do you do? What is it? I own my store online, international. I buy for cheaper. I sell for more. And I'm looking for the same person doing the same.
There you go. Perfect.
Mhm.
So, what you say again is supposed to help to generate further questions from them asking you what it is, because you want to get that conversation and that interest converted into an appointment, right? You want to move to the next step. It's always what is the next step, right? So if they do start asking you questions, that's fantastic. That's definitely an indication that you need to set an appointment. And there's nothing wrong with telling them, that's a great question. I really don't have time to get into the details now. Can we get together? And you can get together for a cup of coffee. You can get together at, at a coffee place. You can do it over a Zoom. Alex and I met last week with our cup of shopping annuity tea in hand, right? We have our tea with us this evening. I have my belly balance,
Well, I
actually.
get to.
Right. And no, it's closed for the appointment. So which day works better for you? I have availability on Monday or Tuesday. Which day is better for you, Alex? Right. And set that appointment and make sure that you confirm the appointment. Say, is there any reason, that you wouldn't be able to meet me on Monday at 3:00? Right. And confirm it, because you want to make sure that, nobody's wasting anybody's time. It's really important. So we have some examples of approaches here, right? You can do anything from, if I could show you a way to, right? Have you ever thought about working for yourself? Are you someone who keeps your financial options open? My question to that gentleman was, do you keep your options open? I wasn't even specific. He wasn't looking for finance. He was looking for time freedom. And this is one that you often use. I know, Alex, right? The last one there.
Yes, I know you will know the right people. Let's get together. Maybe you can help me out, right? But you see, this is so easy. It is easy because I'm really looking for help. Let's get together. Let's collaborate together. Let's see what you do and let's just talk.
Yeah.
And sometimes where we make the biggest mistake, we're trying to talk so fast and schedule appointment, talk about, and it's not about this. Just hold on. The goal is to schedule a meeting.
Yeah.
With a cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's it, right? And so that's the evaluation approach, right? I only have a minute, and this could be in person, this could be calling, this could be even through a text message. But this is just, some key points to sample for this particular approach. I only have a minute. The reason I'm calling or text is I own my own business. I'm looking for people I can help with product, services, or the business. If I was to do that and I was to say, I would love to get together with you on Monday afternoon at 3:00. I'm going to introduce you to my business partner, Alex, and I'm going to edify her, right? I'm going to say how amazing Alex is. Well, she's been in the business for a number of years. She's very successful, and I'm going to tout off all her accolades and say how amazing and wonderful that she is, because I want to make sure that I am explaining to the person that I'm inviting that she's a busy lady and she's taking time for us. So it's important that you show up too, right?
Yes.
So we can get together. And again, as Alex had just said, maybe you can help me out, right? Maybe you can help
You know
me.
what? And this is even perfect with scheduling appointments, saying, hey, she's very busy, Dr. Tamara, right? So let me know if something changed, right? Because I want to say how important she is. She's always busy, right? And she just found time for you.
That's right. Or they're making time, she's a good friend and she's making time for us, right? And so when's the soonest we can get together? And so that's the evaluation approach. And this is, just very similar. It's very similar. It's just a little bit more direct. You're still saying, I only have a minute. You're edifying the person. that you're introducing, or you're edifying them as well, right? You might just say, I think really highly of you. You know, we met, I am so impressed with all of these things that you mentioned to me. You seem to be very successful and very smart, and you're going to edify them. I want to really get together with you, right? You may or may not be interested. Either way is fine, but maybe you can help me out, right? And I do use this quite often. It may or may not be of interest for you because that takes the pressure off of them, right? You're not saying, I expect you to do this with me. No, you're saying it may not be for you. That's okay, but maybe you can learn what it is and still help me out, right?
And this is, by the way, my favorite approach. I love the direct approach. And I just found this, and this was, by the way, 2 days ago. I found this girl on social media under some advertising, and I'm like, wow, she's Polish. So I click on her because she commenting, and I found her, and I checked her Facebook, and guess what I did?
What?
I texted her, why don't we get together? I came across your profile. You seem interested. Why don't we, can I give you a call? Let's see, maybe we can collaborate somehow.
Fantastic. Yeah. So again, that edify could be the person you're trying to meet with, or you're edifying maybe your senior business partner who's coming to help you as well. So again, you want to solidify that appointment. It's really important, ask them, is there anything that can get, in the way of the schedule that would prevent us from getting together? Because we're both really busy, and I just want to make sure that we're setting this time apart, that this meeting is really going to happen. And, we had talked about this too, Alex. We talk about call workshops, we talk about text workshops to book an appointment. And I was actually just sharing, my son, one of my boys was trying to get some stuff done. And he had a friend that was in the same boat as he was. They were just trying to get some things done. And he was getting very distracted. And he called up his friend and he said, hey, can you come on over? And let's just do it together because we're going to keep each other focused and on task. And that really worked for him. They actually did like a call workshop or a text workshop. And it wasn't for our business, but it was something that I came back and I said to him, that's what we do, right? We do that too. We do call workshops. We do text workshops. And I have to tell you, I had the privilege of going on the Utopia one time. And we had our call workshops on the Utopia. We had to come with our names list. And Mr. Jim Winkler was standing over my shoulder. And I was like, oh my God.
So I know, and I can tell you this, I understand, because my first Utopia was as well with Jim Winkler. So I was going from
Sorry,
there.
Jim, you're a little intimidating sometimes.
But as we tell you, I was the person who scheduled the most meeting.
I was going to say, I was so surprised when I walked away doing it as a workshop where it was truly scheduled, where everybody in the room was working on the same task. And we were able to coach each other, right? I had Jim Winkler in my ear saying, make sure but whatever the case may be, it really did. That accountability really did make a difference. And I was so pleasantly surprised when I walked away, how many appointments I actually had booked in my calendar, right? It was wonderful. So, use these, and you can do it on a Zoom, you can do them in person, whatever works for you. But it's a great way, when you're afraid to pick up that phone because it's feeling super heavy, right? And you're intimidated, to do it with a buddy. And I love these call workshops.
That was amazing, with any whole, keep you a momentum as well.
Yeah.
Because driving yesterday to Miami, I was with Sam, and suddenly when she find out how to do it, we even didn't listen to music because she was on fire. Like I created a monster because she was, because she got it, and I was so proud of her.
She was doing it on the drive, you said, right? That's
Yes.
wonderful. So we're up to this slide, and I'm going to just give you a minute right here to just take some time. You could do it as a phone call because you're all muted out. We can't hear you, right? You can do it as a phone call. You could do it as a text message. But I want you to think of one person, at least one person, that you've been meaning to reach out to. Like they've been on your mind and you've thought about them and you've thought, wow, I really want to share this information with this person, and you just never did it for one reason or another because the phone was so heavy you couldn't pick it up, right? Whatever the right now, take out your phone, right? Open up your text message or make a quick call because we're going to be wrapping up now because we're pretty much done. And use either this evaluation approach, and you can text it as well, right? I can, really use your help. May or may not be for you. Will you help me out? Use this evaluation approach or use this direct approach if you like. And right now, just text that person that you've been stalling.
And hold on, can I edit something? Because
Please.
it's 9 o'clock, you can say, hey, I know it's late.
Love it.
Okay, so don't
I
be,
know
hey,
it's
can I
late,
call you even tomorrow, right?
but I was just thinking about you. You just popped into my head and I had to reach out. I love that. I know it's late, but I just had to reach out for a minute because edify them. I'd love to get together. Can we schedule a time, right? Can you help me out? Whatever the case may be. So finish up that text message, hit send, and hopefully you will get a response back, and then you can move forward and schedule that appointment, right? So if the date doesn't work, what is the soonest we can get together and meet for coffee, whether it's in person or whether it's on a Zoom? Get out your shopping annuity tea and have a cup of tea together, in person at your home or on a Zoom, whatever the case may be. But guys, you have to just pick it up and move forward and do it and get out of that comfort zone a little bit because it is so worth it. Don't you think, Alex?
It is, it is. Look, I'm gonna read you today my text message today. Hey, Happy New Year. How are you? Maybe we can grab a cup of coffee together on Zoom. Happy New Year, dear. How are you? Yes, of course. Let me know when you are free. We can swap diary and find time the best for us. Sending you a big hug. And I'm like, hey, let's schedule something on Sunday. Sunday, probably the best. See you at 5.
Perfect. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be exact from one person to the other. You're going to customize it, right? You're going to use the evaluation approach. You're going to use the direct approach, whatever it is you're most comfortable with, or whatever's most appropriate for that person that you're reaching out to. But the key is really to keep adding new names to your names list, adding new possibilities, right? 2 names a day onto that names list. I keep a spreadsheet. I actually have it in my phone, but I also print it out because I have columns on there with their name, their contact information, but also, possibly where I met them, what the contact was initially, what the next step is going to be. I put dates on it, right? That keeps me accountable, what the follow-up is. And I always have the next event, whether it's a UBP or a local or a home business presentation or a home wellness or a product training, whatever it is. I like to keep all of those dates that's coming up in the next quarter, in my calendar, so I can always plug into the next thing. So again, building your possibilities list, it's really endless and it shouldn't end, right? Because you should always be out meeting new people, whether it's at networking events or on social media. Alex, I love your tips and tricks. You're just amazing. Thank you so much for joining me this week. This is week 2 of the Master UFO Action Plan, the training outline. Next week is week 3, presenting the business plan. We're getting through this next quarter. I just love seeing all the people on the leaderboard. I think it's just wonderful how much people have really stepped up and gone back to work. We're back in person. We have so many amazing events going on in so many different areas. If you guys need help, reach out. We're here to help you guys. You can reach out to us and plug into our events. We have the calendars. Colin Haskins is doing an amazing job with the calendars in all the different areas, so that when you have these new possibilities, you have a place to bring them and invite them and tag team with other people in your area. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining me tonight, Alex. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. And please don't be afraid. Think about me, how I started. With my English was really bad. If I can do it, everyone can do it. So just build your bullet vest, go and follow your dreams. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have an awesome week. We will see you all soon. Don't forget, if you haven't gotten your tickets to Leadership School, make sure you get those tickets. It is absolutely going to be a spectacular training and event. Do not miss it. Get your tickets. Have a great one.
Thank you.